Today we're in Xi'an, one of China's most fascinating cities, to ride one of the country's most popular sleeper trains on a 1,200 km trip across to the capital, Beijing. We will deep dive into the different accommodations, check out the food options, and walk through the whole train to see whether this 12-hour overnight rail journey is the best way to cross China. So come along with me and let's check it all out together. Welcome to the home of the Terracotta Warriors, the afterlife army of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China in 210 BC. There have been archaeological finds in this area suggesting it was first inhabited around 500,000 years ago by Homo erectus, but it definitely became most prominent in the 11th century as the political and cultural centre of the Zhou dynasty. Nowadays it is home to around 13 million people and is capital of China's Shaanxi province. Okay, let's head to the station to get this trip started. We are departing from the most central of the main railway termini here, simply named Xi'an. It sits just outside the 14th century city walls, around 2 kilometres northeast of the city centre. I'm a bit early, so I'm going to pop and have some dinner, before returning around an hour before scheduled departure time. Let's head inside and check it out. As with most Chinese train stations, there is an ID and security check before you can access the concourse. Foreigners using their passport should head to the manual lane where the staff member will check you in. Then you must have your bags x-rayed and pass through a body metal detector check. It's very quick and easy, taking less than a minute. Liquids are permitted. Once through, you need to head up one level to the departure concourse. This can be accessed by these escalators, but there are also lifts for a step-free route. This station is fully accessible. All signage is in both Chinese and English, so you should have no trouble wayfinding. One thing I do love about Chinese railway stations is that once you've used a few, they do all feel very familiar. But they also all have their own quirks and design features, such as unique displays or local touches. The main departure lounge is large, with a plethora of seating options throughout. There is a centrally located information kiosk, and many shops and food outlets spread around the edges, including Western brands. There are also free-to-use toilets and water dispensers. It's a very impressive station. Our train tonight is the D44 service to Beijing West, departing at 8:35 PM. We will leave Xi'an in an easterly direction before turning north and making just one intermediate stop overnight in the early hours before arriving in Beijing tomorrow morning around 8:30 AM. Boarding starts 20 minutes before scheduled departure time, and everyone lines up for the ticket gate check about 15 minutes prior to this. Again, you should head to the manual lane if using your passport as ID, as it rarely works on the automated gates and the member of staff will need to process you. Then head one level down to the platforms. You can do this by stairs or escalator. Again, there is also a lift if required. And now we get the first glimpse of a superb train which will convey us all the way to the Chinese capital tonight with comfort and ease. It's a China Railways Fuxing CR200J semi-high-speed electric multiple unit, or EMU. These train sets have a power car on each end and 16 passenger coaches in between. There are 3 classes of travel on board. They have a maximum in-service speed of 160 km per hour and a power output of 5,600 kilowatts. I think they look super smart in this green, white and red livery. What's your favourite China Railways livery? Leave me a comment below. Whenever I'm travelling, especially on longer trips like this 2-week one across China, having reliable luggage makes all the difference to me. For the past 4 years I've been using Level 8 cases, and they have recently sent me their new Adventure 20-inch carry-on, and it's quickly becoming one of my favourites. It's got a tough polycarbonate shell that's lightweight but incredibly durable, smooth 360-degree spinner wheels and a wide trolley handle that makes navigating busy airports and railway stations effortless. There's also a really well thought out interior with separate compartments that keep everything organised. One feature I particularly like is the quick access front pocket, which makes it easy to grab my laptop, new camera batteries, passport or other essentials quickly and easily. However you're travelling, all level 8 luggage is designed to cope with the demands of frequent usage while still looking sleek and elegant. If you're wanting to upgrade your luggage, you can grab 12% off anything on the level 8 website using my discount code NONSTOP12. A huge thanks to level 8 for their ongoing support of the channel. Now let's get on board the train and start our overnight trip to Beijing. The platform is level with the train, with just a small gap to cross. We will be travelling in the highest class on board this train, that being first class sleeper. This is laid out in 4-berth private rooms similar to a couchette coach within Europe. I will show you the other accommodation options later on in the video. And here is my room for tonight. My first impressions are good, it looks very clean and comfortable. Right, let's settle down and get ready for departure. We leave exactly on time at 8:35 PM. Chinese trains are very punctual, and that really is the magic of taking the night train in this part of the world. This trip from Xi'an to Beijing covers a distance of 1,200 kilometers, which is scheduled to take us 11 hours and 47 minutes of travel time. I love that we only make one intermediate stop en route, as that really helps with a continuous sleep. The price of a single berth in this first class sleeper compartment is 458 Chinese yuan, which I think is very reasonable for this journey. You will be sharing with other passengers of your gender, unless there are 4 of you travelling and there is availability at the time of booking. Children under 6 travel for free if sharing a bed, and those aged 7 to 13 get around a 25% discount on the overall ticket price. The cheapest way to travel on this train is in a second class seat, which costs just 192 Chinese yuan. I will show you this in a bit, but I wouldn't want to spend 12 hours in one. Tickets go on sale 15 days before travel, and I would recommend booking through either the China Railways 12306 app or website, or trip.com. The latter is more foreigner friendly with a clearer interface and more payment options, but they do charge around a 15% commission. You can also pre-book up to 2 months before travel, and Trip will then purchase the tickets the moment they go on sale. Okay, let's check out my first class sleeper compartment in more detail. The door can be locked in 2 places, but only from the inside. On the wall here are controls for the room's air conditioning, main lights and announcement volume. The window has a full closure blackout blind. The beds themselves come with all the bedding pre-assembled at one end but not made up. The base is relatively soft, but there is also a foam topper for additional comfort. All the bedding was clean and of good quality, and the pillow was very fluffy. Fold-down steps can be found by the door to make access easier for the top bunks, which are basically the same as the bottom ones. They all have little storage pockets, clothing hooks, a small shelf, personal reading lights and 2 USB-A ports. In between the bottom 2 bunks is a large, sturdy fixed table. Under this is where you'll find the room's only proper power socket. There is also a bin down here. Luggage storage can be found under both bottom bunks and also above the main door over the corridor. Overall, a pretty good sleeper room, very clean, and I love the ambience. As there's not much to see outside, let's go and check out some more of the train now. The carpeted corridors have fold-down stools as well as some additional power sockets if required. Each coach has hot water dispensers and cups so you can make up your own tea, coffee or pot noodles. There is also a communal wash area along with 2 toilets in each vestibule. They are both modern vacuum toilets, with one being a Chinese squat style one. But don't worry, there is a regular Western style sit down joggy too. They were both very clean and the water worked. Soap was only available at the sinks outside. There was a bin along with plenty of toilet paper and toilet seat covers too. Okay, now let's go and have a look at the buffet counter. There is no sit-down dining car on board these trains, and you just take your purchases back to your room for consumption. This mainly consisted of drinks and snacks, but there were some microwave hot meals too. As I'd already had dinner, I just bought a drink that I could make up in the morning. Now let's look at the other accommodation options on board. These are the second class seats, which are in a 3+2 configuration. As I said before, it's cheap at about a third of the price of my berth, so it's great for the budget traveller. There are power sockets and tray tables. The seats are also quite comfy, have a good legroom and do recline a long way, but for a 12-hour overnight trip, I'll take the bed please. One wheelchair space is available in the coach next to the buffet area, and the accessible toilet is in the adjacent vestibule. The other bedded option on the train is second class sleeper, which is laid out in 6-bed open compartments. This costs about 30% less than my first class bed. Bedding is still provided and all the other amenities are pretty much the same. Okay, that sums up the train tour, so let's head back to my room now and settle down for the night. As soon as I crawl into my bed, I know it's going to be a good night's sleep. See you in the morning! And wow, I was totally right. I got at least 8 hours solid sleep. I didn't even wake up for the stop around 6 AM. It makes all the difference on a sleeper train to not be constantly stopping throughout the night with a large throughput of people making noise. And the train has a very good ride quality too on these super smooth tracks. Okay, time to make up my strawberry milk tea that I bought last night. As I mentioned, you can just use the hot water dispensers in the corridors whenever you want. Et voila! It was very delicious. We are now passing through Beijing, approximately 135 kilometers to the southwest of Beijing, and the last major city we will transit before we arrive in the Chinese capital in an hour or so. The train window views are unfortunately limited on this route, as most of it is in darkness. However, we do pass some nice temples and rivers in the final part of the journey. And just like that, we are now in the suburbs of Beijing, so let me summarise this trip from Xi'an on board this D44 sleeper train service in a first class compartment. Overall, I think it was excellent and I had a wonderful journey. The room was clean, comfortable and very well appointed with everything you could need for this 12-hour overnight journey. As for the toilets and other shared spaces, the train really was in a very good condition. Although there is not a full dining car, the offerings that were available from the buffet counter were sufficient, seeing as most passengers, including myself, would have eaten dinner before boarding last night. And the most important thing you can ask for from a sleeper train, the quality of sleep was superb. A great bed and bedding, and a train which doesn't stop during the night and has an excellent ride quality. I would say that the 160 km/h maximum speed is the perfect sweet spot for travel time versus a very comfortable experience. We arrive into Beijing's West Station right on time at 8:22 AM. This was pretty much the perfect sleeper train journey, and I would highly recommend it to travel between Xi'an and Beijing. The Chinese capital is home to 22 million people and is without doubt one of my favourite cities in the country. There is so much history standing hand in hand alongside such modernity, and amazing value hotels too. Have you been on any Chinese sleeper trains before? If so, which ones and on which routes? How did you find them? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always open to new video ideas, so if you have something you'd like to see on the channel, then drop me a DM on Instagram, Blue Sky or Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.